Hi guys, and welcome back. This episode we're talking about engines. Now, since the last time, I've learned my lesson when it comes to engines. Also, I thought. So I went down the boat club, and one of my friends was down there, and he says to me, "You still planning on getting an outboard, Nick?" I said, yes I am. I wasn't going to get one for the boat. I was just going to go and get a lightweight electric motor for the tender, but speaking to a couple of people, I don't think it'd be a bad thing to actually have on the back anyway. So I thought, yeah, okay, let's get one. All right. So he said, "I might have one for you." He said, "It needs a bit of fixing up, but have a little play with it, see what you think." So I thought, okay, fine, fair enough. So he pulls it out, we had a little look at it. He said, "There you go." He pulled it and he said, "So, it seems like it's got compression." I said, "Oh, yeah. And then he said, "Look, it might be a case that you need to fix it up, it might not work, it might work, but at least you got that experience with regards to having a little tinker, a bit of a play with an outboard motor." And I thought, okay, that's fair. And he said, "Actually, 1 minute." He goes back into his shed and comes back. He said, "Actually, I got another one as well." And they're almost identical. Same. One's a 4 horsepower, the other's a 5. They're both Yamahas. So anyway, so I was like, okay, fine. So they're both 2-stroke. Brilliant. Okay. So he said, maybe there'll be a situation where you can take bits off this one to fix that one, and that one to fix this one. I said, "Oh, okay, fine, fair enough." So he said, "Look, this is what I'm looking for." And I was like, at the moment, I was just like, oh, my wife's gonna kill me. So I said to him, "Look, thank you, but can I just have a think about it just for now?" Because I knew that this was just gonna go like, if I go home and be like, "Hey, guess what? I've just gone and bought another outboard motor," and she's like, "You don't even know if it works, and you haven't learned anything from your last engine," and blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh no. So anyway, so I thought, no, I'm not gonna do that. So I asked all the right questions. Things like, "Have you seen it running?" And he was like, "No." "Do you know if it works?" "No." "Okay. What do you know about the engines?" Basically, the guy was going to take them to the skip, and he ended up having them, and then that was that. So they might need fixing up. "You interested?" And I said, "Yeah. Put them in the boot." So I haven't learned my lesson at all. So this is what I got. So this is the Yamaha 5 horsepower. It's actually on the serial number, the serial plate, sorry. Down here, it is actually the 4AC 6E0 or 6EO. So that's what it is. Looking at it, this one doesn't have a built-in fuel tank, but it has the connector for the fuel line there that goes to a separate fuel tank. So as we move down, the props in good enough nick. We'll clean it all up anyway, make sure everything's working. The biggest thing at the moment is making sure that this works, which it is not. It is not shifting into reverse or forward. So I need to get in here, check that out, and check the push rod that takes you down to the gearbox down here. Check all that out, make sure that's working, because if those gears are seized or something, I need to sort that out first. But it seems to, I'll open it up. There you go. Opens up like that. So looking inside, obviously got your spark plugs there, bit of electronics that I have no idea about, but it looks pretty tidy inside. Fuel line, carb, what's this on here, what's all this? Not sure what that is, but that doesn't look great. I'll need tidying up, something's happened there. So, you know, I'll check that bit out, but the engine itself is, it's not seized anyway. It does, I just haven't got it clamped down properly, that's all. So that's that. The throttle cable, or throttle on here, it does actually, yeah, that works that, so that's fine. Spider. Go back and see me little Miss Muffet. Cool. Let's have a look at the other one. Here we have, same again, Yamaha, same kind of model, but this time it's a 4 horsepower, still two-stroke. This one's got the built-in fuel tank. Okay, a couple of things on this one then. The bottom end is looking pretty worn. The prop, although it's, I mean, it's, there you go, this edge is pretty naff. There's a bit of damage to this and this blade here. Okay, so if I can get it going, I'd probably get myself a new prop for that. But that seems to spin quite nicely. Inspection hatch there. This one here is missing the tilt bar, so you can buy those anyway off anywhere. So that's missing on that one. And then this bit here, this seems to be a kind of like DIY job here. That's not a standard kind of gear changing lever. That's also not shifting at all. So need to look at that. This bit here, I'm gonna be looking at this. There you go. So like I say, built-in fuel tank. Inside is pretty, there's grease, but there's also a lot of debris and rubbish in there, so I might actually take this out and try and clean that up a little bit. Again, the electrics, can't see this very well, but electrics seem okay. But again, there's just a lot of cobwebs and crap in there. Again, that's working, so that's good. And it actually, this spins nicely. It does, again, it's pretty squeaky, but yeah, it's not used. So that's nice kind of action on there. So I'd love to keep this 4 horsepower. Fix this one up because I like the idea of having this and not having an external tank. It's just sliding around the place. So if I can have that all in one place, that would be brilliant. Let's see what we get and try and fix them up. Hey guys, welcome back. So it's the next day. We're gonna have a look at this 4 horsepower engine today and see if we can get that working. We are here at Casa de Macdaddy. The weather is absolutely minging today. It's just, yeah, it's terrible. We got Storm Bert coming through at the moment, so just so you know when we're at. So apologies for the footage. If the audio is a bit windy and stuff, I'm sorry about that. But let's crack on and see what we can get into this. If we can get into this 4 horsepower. Okay, so first thing I want to do today is check that I've got compression. So we're going to take off the hood, take that off. As you can see inside, it's still, yeah, it's grubby, but it's alright. It's just cobwebs and spiders and stuff that seem to have moved in. So I'm going to take off the spark plug and see if I've got compression. So that's the first thing. Okay, so I've taken the spark plug out and it looked like there was a bit of oil just, I don't know if you can see this on the spark plug there. Don't know if that's going to cause any sort of like misfiring or anything like that, but we shall have a look. I'll end up changing the spark plug anyway because you can see there's a bit of corrosion, rust around it anyway, so it's not looking its best anyway. Yeah, so let's see what we got. Okay, so that was showing like 75 or 50, but the reason being is that I hadn't actually connected it properly into the spark plug. So yeah, I have now, so let's give it a couple of pulls and see what we've got. Okay, it's now showing just over about 100, so that's better. Okay, hood's back on. Opened up the air valve, put some fuel in there. Let's see if we can get this running. Well, that's fantastic. It runs. It actually runs. I mean, it looked pretty tidy inside. It needs a bit of a clean up. But what that tells me now is that I can actually, well, it's actually worth me now trying to fix this gear lever and getting inside the gubbins of it and knowing that I've got a working engine here, so I can try and get the engine bit out so I can get to the lever. Pull that out. I'll change that, well, this, whatever this thing is, I'll try and get a new one and sort that out. But I don't mind spending a bit of money on this now because I've got a 400 quid engine for nothing. So even if I spend 200 on parts or 150 on parts, I'm still on a winner here. So guys, watch this space. Let's fix this one up. Okay, so I've managed to take the split pin out of there, so that should now, I say, come out from there. There's a little washer on it. Right. Of course it's not. Right. Brilliant. I'll be back in a bit. Okay, so we've taken off the inspection hatch and we can see that when I'm doing that, it's not actually attached to anything. So I'm gonna have to try and find a new push rod and connect this up in here, take this bottom end off, and I don't know, let's see what we got, but I'm gonna try it. Okay, so in order to get to this, there's a 10mm bolt there, and then this should kind of pop out, and I'm not sure about this screw here, probably have to take that out as well. But yeah, that should slide out then, and let's see what we got. Okay, and there we have it. So there's your gear shift. And then in there I can see that that has come out. So let's try and get hold of that one. Morning, and the postman's been. So let's have a look at what we got. So we've got some new oil to go in there, and a pump to go with it, and some washers for things. I did do an oil, I released the oil earlier, and that came out, so it's definitely due an oil change. Some gaskets here for the exhaust and for the main head. I've got the new push rod, so I've got a new push rod here, which actually has the connector block at the bottom of it, so that's what I was missing before. New spark plug, gasket, and a water impeller. So let's fix all these back and put this engine back together. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to change the water impeller and the gasket in the water pump housing. Just taking out these screws which bolt onto here, and then releasing that. There's the water impeller there. Okay, sometimes it's held in, it's inside the housing. If it pulls up and you can't find it, it's in there. So I'm going to take this off the dry shaft. So that's that. Take the water impeller off. Now when you take the water impeller off, be very careful. There is a pin right there and it comes out. Can't actually see it probably too well, but it's that thing there. There's a little hole there, right, and that has a groove then in the water impeller. There's a notch out there, and that's where it sits onto when the housing goes down, so make sure that goes back properly. Okay, so as you can see, the gasket has been changed, so that's new. Just time to put the housing back on now, and put the impeller back in. You can see there's the hole where the pin lies. Okay, the new impeller's on, housing is in, it's all slotted in nicely, new gasket, just need to screw it down and then this is done. So that's now done, these are tightened in. I haven't over tightened them because obviously this is a plastic housing, so the last thing I want to do is to put too much pressure on that and to crack it, because obviously it needs to keep the water in. So yeah, cool. Okay, I need to attach this. So that should go in there like that. So that's there. Now it should be just a split pin, which I have vanilla, which should then allow me to, please don't drop this neck. Let me do it this way, just because I'm just asking for trouble otherwise. There you go, that's done there. Then is split the pin, come on, twist it. There you go, done. Right, that's working. That's not coming off, so that's good. And there we have it. There's reverse, neutral, that's gone. There you go, forward. That drops back down. So brilliant. All we need to do now is when we reconnect this bottom end here, make sure that the the gear shaft goes into that connector. We can tighten that with a socket. It's good. Oh, come on. What a pain in the bum. So I just spent the good hour or so connecting the rods with the connector and trying to sort of like get it in the right kind of space, and so it all goes into forward, neutral and reverse properly. But wow, that was more hassle than it was worth. But it's there now, it's done. So the bottom end is here, it's back on. I've got that sorted. So now it's time to get the oil back in that in the lower end. So let's do that. So I got my gear oil here. I've got the connecting piece to go into this so I can pump the oil in. I've got a tray just to collect any drips underneath, and I've got 2 new washers to go on the nuts as they go in. So these swanky new washers, so they can go on the nut like that. There's one, and the other one goes in as well for the top end. It goes on there. 2. There you go. Okay, so this goes in here somehow. There you go. Screws in there. This screws in the bottom. And then we just pump. Oh, it's blue. Daboo-dee-daboo-die. So I'm just going to pump until I start seeing liquid coming up the top end, or oil coming out the top end. This literally had no oil in it when I took it to pieces. Hey, there it is. There she blows. Okay, so I'm gonna take this top one, put it in there. Okay, and then I'm gonna unnip this. Should have worn gloves, but oh well. It's away. Got this one ready. Come on, you bugger. Of course you are. Of course you are. Too much. Come on. And again. That's there. Put this in there. go. There you go, kids, this is why you should wear gloves. But it's okay because we got baby wipes. There you go. Good job. Done. So, let's get on with the rest of it. Okay, so, just taking off all the bolts here and the spark plug. I already knew that now about it. But look at this. I don't even know what that is. Is this... That's not normal, right? Look at it. What the Yeah, I need to clean that out. Then disaster struck. So I started cleaning out this area. Thought I'd clean it up a little bit. And then I realised there was a second gasket behind, so I thought, okay, I need to get into that, so I need to pull this out. And then I pulled this out, and then realised that that was my thermostat, I guess, which obviously isn't going to work. And then all this was clogged up, and then I thought, oh, well, if that's not been working, I wonder if it's been running too hot, which means that when I turned this over, that was like that, and then that was there as well. So I think that's pretty knackered. Well, that seems as good a place as any to finish off. So, let's call it for this episode. Join me next time, and fingers crossed I'll have some news with regards to whether I've managed to salvage parts of this or whether I've been able just to chuck it. I don't really want to chuck it. I really like this engine. I do. I want to fix it up still, but it all comes down to the cost of getting a new top end and all the gubbins. I really like the idea of having that built-in fuel tank, not having an external fuel tank kind of sliding around or what have you. We'll see. Join me next time. As always, please remember to like, share, subscribe, turn your notifications on. Let's see how many followers we can get. And thank you very much again. I'll see you on the next one.